I think women are creative, they're innovative, and we need to make sure that their voices are heard in healthcare and that they are leading change in healthcare. And to do that, I think that we have to make sure that there are opportunities for women in academics.
I think it's critical for women in academic medicine to support each other and engage in these kinds of dialogues, because I think there's a chance of women feeling very much alone and isolated in their experiences. So these kinds of conversations let them know that they are not alone. And with that, I think there's a chance just to step back and look objectively at what's going on around them. And from there, I think the stimulation helps too, begin to make some choices that could lead to some fresh and new outcomes for them, so it can have an impact on the future.
We need to come together to actually share our experiences and stories so that we can look at structural change that I think needs to ultimately be made. And the best way to think about those structural changes is actually to work from the ground up and to see what people are experiencing. Of course, we need data, so we need the studies, and a lot of those studies have already been done. But we need to look at how that data is actually lived out in people's experiences on a daily basis within academic medicine as women, and we're really feeling that when we come together and get to brainstorm together.
Well, I think the advancement of women as leaders in academic medicine can have a profound impact on healthcare and on looking at how we can ensure that healthcare and social justice go hand in hand. I think women bring a perspective that is unique, and we need more women in leadership and management in many areas besides healthcare, in academia itself, in business, because they bring a diversity that's needed in a workplace.
There are women, I think, like myself, who've been able to get to where I wanted to go. But there have been a lot of sacrifices, and I think what we've really got to do is continue this dialogue. This is the beginning of a journey. It's not just about women, it's about all sorts of underrepresented groups.
By having women at the table, I think you have people who are thinking more broadly, perhaps, about inclusion and thinking along the lines of intersections. So. Women who may occupy multiple identities, whether it's being a South Asian female like myself, might be thinking about other communities we can bring to the table at the same time.
I would recommend this summit to my fellow colleagues because I think it's an important place and space for women to come together, to look and analyze what's happening in the workplace, especially in medicine, and to talk about ways to move forward as a collective, not as an individual.
When I know that there's a sort of 150 women in a room who may feel similarly about issues that I care about, I feel more comfortable speaking up and being a voice at a table. So I found that to be really one of the most important parts of this event.
What I'm really finding really cool and amazing is people at different stages in their careers talking about what the challenges are and identifying which ones are the same, but which ones have changed. And there's like a process of reflection that's happening in the moment, and there's mentoring that's happening in the moment, and it's really stimulating.
Events like this don't just happen. We are extremely grateful to our male colleagues who have actually, both with time as well as dollars, supported this event. We've established a fund for women in academic medicine in order to bring in people from around the world who are de facto leaders and champions for women in academic medicine. That takes money. And in order to continue to do this and even open it to much broader audience of women, and ultimately to use this model for other groups, we would really appreciate people's support.